Hello friends, Heidi here from Rain Country. God is good all the time. And today I'm going to show you how I make an Italian sausage for a topping for homemade pizza. So I came up with this idea a few years ago when I got fed up with not knowing what all was in the sausages I bought from the store and thinking that maybe it would be a good idea to refrain from pork products. And I'll go into that in another video, but one of the reasons why is, despite what some people say, I just don't personally believe that pork is one of the healthiest meats. So I've been trying to focus more on the farm-raised organic chicken, grass-fed beef, and wild-caught elk, deer, and fish are more the meats that we focus on here. And so I wanted to come up with a way to be able to make my pizza and have a sausage topping, since I don't buy pepperoni anymore either for the same reasons, because I don't know what all's in there, and something that was simple and yet still tasted like Italian sausage like you'd buy at the store. And I came up with this very simple way of doing it, and it should go pretty quick, and I'll show you how I do it. Okay, so I have just a little bit of avocado oil in my cast iron skillet here. I would like to use olive oil, but again, all I have is extra virgin olive oil. And if you want to learn a little bit more about cooking oils, I'll go ahead and link to my video on that right up here. Avocado has a high, like on here it says to 500, and I've read where it can get up to 570 degrees to the smoke point. And we don't cook anything that high. So with extra virgin olive oil, it's something you want to avoid when you're talking about cooking with it. So anyway, I've got about 3/4 of a pound of meat here. So what I did was I thawed this grass-fed beef. This was a locally raised grass-fed beef that we had bought from a friend, and then they had the butcher take care of all the meat for us. And so I thawed it out yesterday and used a part of the package this morning to make a breakfast sausage, and I'll link to that recipe right up here. So I just put the meat in there and kind of chop it up directly into the pan. Now here is all you need to do to get it to taste like Italian sausage, is add your Italian seasonings, whatever your favorites are. And I'm going to put a nice big pinch of rosemary and really kind of crumble it up well. And then with basil, you can go a little heavier on the basil if you would like. Sprinkle that in. And oregano. So as far as herbs go, those are the three main ones you want to look at when you're, I'm going to go a little heavy on that oregano too, when you're looking at a good Italian flavor. Then, of course, don't forget your garlic. That has to go in there too. So we'll put in a couple of pinches of that. A little bit of onion, granulated onion, about a teaspoon. And then about a half teaspoon or so of salt. And then if you want to add a little bit of kick to it, you can put in a pinch or two of cayenne pepper. Now normally I would do this, but since I'm making this pizza for a family get together we're having this weekend, I'm making this early just because I need to get the meat cooked up now. My son's fiance doesn't like spicy. She can't handle spicy, so I try to be careful not to put too much spice into the foods which I know she's coming over. So anyway, just blend that in really well. Just kind of keep chopping it. You want to add all the seasonings in while the meat is still raw, like I'm doing here. And just make sure it's blended very well, that you got all those spices, all those herbs evenly distributed. And if you look at it and say, wow, I just don't know that I have enough of this or that, just go ahead and add more. And if there's any other herbs that you like to add, if you want to add a little bit of thyme or something else, just feel free to do it. I mean, it's up to you as far as flavorings. I focus on these when I'm thinking of an Italian flavor, because that's what I'm going for going on the pizza. Okay, so now that I got that blended in there real well, all I'm gonna do is go put this on my wood stove, or you can put it on your conventional stove top on about medium heat or so, and you just want to brown it real well. Okay, so here I am at the wood stove, and I'm browning the meat right now with all them spices and herbs in there, and just keep stirring it around to get it evenly brown. You don't have to overcook it. You don't need it, you know, you don't need it really brown, just cooked through. That's all you need. Remember, it's going to go on top of the pizza, and so it's going to be, you know, it's going to be getting cooked some more anyway. So no need to overcook it, just enough to make sure it crumbles well, and you can spread it easily on top of your pizza. Okay, well, it's all done and ready to go. And what I ended up doing after I kind of smelled it for a little bit, I decided that it just didn't have a strong enough aroma. I haven't even tasted it yet, but I could tell it just wasn't enough. So I put another big pinch of all the same herbs and spices in there. Well, not salt. I didn't put any more salt in there because I'm pretty sure that'll be enough, especially when you add the cheese and the sauce and all that. So anyway, what I'll do with this is I'll let it cool down to room temperature, and then I'm going to put it in a glass container and put it in the fridge until I'm ready to make the pizza and then put it on top. Now, as far as the rest of the pizza goes, I do make my own crust. Basically, all I do is use my basic homemade bread recipe that I will link to right up here, and then just roll it out into a pizza crust shape. The grains I'll be using are the same as you see right here. These are ready for me to rinse out and put on the wood stove to dry. These are the soaked grains. I've got spelt and hard white wheat, soft white wheat, and buckwheat in here. And they're, like I said, they're ready to rinse and put on my wood stove to dry out. And then I'll be able to grind them up tomorrow for my flour for the pizza crust. And then I'll be baking pizza on my Lodge cast iron pizza pan. Now this is excellent. I highly recommend this pizza pan. I'll go ahead and link to this below if you're interested. Now, I did cook my pizzas on the stoneware pans for years, but when I got the cast iron, even though I love stoneware, the cast iron I like even better. Just put a little bit of like coconut oil or something like that on there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put some of my clarified butter that I made the other day on there so I can get that nice flavor into the crust as well. And you can check out my bread recipe up there to see how I do it as far as the basic bread. Now, the one thing I would definitely say do differently is instead of putting butter in the bread, put that extra virgin olive oil so you can get more of that. And then I'd say put even more of it than what I did with the butter. That will give the bread a nice, that more Italian flavor. You could even consider putting a little bit of granulated garlic into the crust as well. And then for the sauce, I also have a sauce recipe. It's a basic Italian sauce that I use. I use it for when I make spaghetti. I use it for when I make raviolis. I use it for when I make pizza or anything else I want a red Italian sauce. I'll go ahead and link to it right up here. I believe that's kind of an older video before we got these shop lights set up in here for better lighting. So forgive me if it's dark, but maybe down the road I'll reshoot the video. But one of the things I use in my sauce is the home canned tomatoes. I'll take a jar of that, and then I don't think in that video at the time I was starting to make the tomato flakes myself, but you know, I use like a tomato powder. I think I was using Honeyville at the time. But now I take my own tomatoes and dry them up. I process them first like this in the blender, and I have a video on this too. So I'll go ahead and link to that right here if you're interested in how I make the tomato flakes. But anyway, I use the tomato flakes in conjunction with the tomatoes, the canned tomatoes here, to make a nice thick sauce. That's what I like about the tomato flakes, is you don't have to cook your sauce down for so long. You can use the tomato flakes or just powdered tomatoes to thicken up your tomato sauce so you don't have to cook it for so long to turn it thick. And then of course using other dried ingredients like your herbs and your garlic and stuff will help with that too. So I'll be doing that. And then obviously I put on, you know, whatever. I'll be putting some onions and some olives and whatever else comes to mind on the top of the pizza. But definitely this meat right here will go on there, and yeah. So, and I'll go ahead and insert a picture right here what the pizza looks like when it's all done, so you can see that. And there we go. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Simple way to make your own Italian sausage. I put it in quotes because it's not technically sausage, I guess, but it tastes like it. It works for me, and it tastes really good. Everybody likes it so far. But anyway, thanks for watching. Take care, and God bless.